Stand. Pledge allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Audience citizens.
Wait, citizen.
We're gonna have him speak during old
Business.
business. You wanted him to come back and talk to you about the speed stuff on the Chamberlain Highway, so he's
Yeah,
just
got
here.
it.
actually, if you wanted to get through it right now, the audience citizens. You can get out of here.
You can do that, if you like.
Want to do that?
If you think that's appropriate, Mr. Chair, I've actually prepared just a couple of handouts. I know there was some debate at one of the past meetings about requesting a speed limit change on Chamberlain Highway, so thank you. So I prepared a little bit of data on the process for that, and as well as some data on some past speed studies for your review that are also in there. Essentially, we have reviewed that area of Chamberlain Highway, particularly in the area of Apple Lane or Heritage, where it seems, at least based upon my own personal experience, where passing violations seem to be at their worst. We have looked at speeds in there just about every 5 years for the last 15 years. So there are 3 studies included in there. And one of the criteria that engineers use when determining speed limits is the 85th percentile speed. And in the first study, which you'll see, it's probably a few pages deep in your packet, but it occurred in 2016. 85th percentile speed was at 51 miles an hour. About 5 years later or so, 4 or 5 years later in 2020, an identical speed study was done in the same area, and it crept up 1 mile an hour to 52. And then I re-upped the speed study again just this year, and it crept up just 2 miles an hour more at 54. So not a terribly significant change. It has crept up 3 miles an hour over the last 10 years. But I got to be honest with you, I think that's a nationwide problem. We're not in the bubble here in Berlin. So, like I said, I put together the first thing you'll notice in your packet is just the proper posting of speed limits. That just includes some information about what the Department of Transportation considered when they considered a request for speed limit change. That's about a 4 or 5 page document. After that is I've included the process of the procedure for requesting a speed limit change and what we would have to do if we want to make such a request. Then those speed studies that I just kind of explained to you. And then a speed data analysis that shows that at least on the latest one in 2025, over the course of about 8 days, almost 55,000 vehicles passed by. And based on the criteria that we entered in there, only 2% of those were really cars that we would pay attention to as far as speed goes. I'm not saying that speeding isn't a problem there. It certainly can be at times. But with 55,000 cars going by in an 8-day period, it doesn't grab a lot of our attention. There are no doubt there are outliers that go incredibly fast, and the data will show that. There is no doubt about that. But one of the good things about using the equipment that we use, and the same equipment that spit out these reports, also tells us the best times to do enforcement. So we're not wasting our time at 2 o'clock in the afternoon if the problem is actually between 6 and 7 p.m. So it does give us data that we can work with as far as enforcement goes. So I don't really have anything more for you other than just the handouts that I gave you, but I am here for any questions if you want to run them by me as you debate the idea of requesting a speed limit change. So.
As you know, I'll jump in there first. As you know, I have a home on one end of the Chamberlain Highway and a farm on the other end of the Chamberlain Highway. Basically, on the biggest, straightest part of the highway, where the farm is. As a matter of fact, I had sent a video out that I had gotten. Nobody realized it. As a police commissioner. So when I see these cars starting to hug the center line and look around my truck, I know exactly what.
Yeah.
And I actually witnessed when I came down to Southern Road. We came up to the car that was behind me had passed me just about in front of Tony McCotchy's place on that part of the hill, in front of the be the Girl Scout camp. And that was all well and fine. It was just me, and he blew right by me. But he got up and I could say, this son of a gun isn't just gonna pass another car. He's gonna do a 2 or 3 car pass. That's exactly what he did. Once he left the light from Southington Road, he actually completed his pass on a blank corner on the backside to the golf course, you know, where they have that gate on the backside. And
Sure.
I look at that and all I can see is a massive head-on crash. And a lot of the perpetrators that I see that are passing, especially when I'm going from my home towards Meriden, towards the farm, generally it's because somebody is just doing 35. Or generally it's 35 that really triggers it. 40, not so much. 45 is better. 50 seems to be the magic number that gets somebody to feel as though that they're going fast enough that they don't need to pass. And that's just my own personal observation, only because I travel it so often. So that's all I had, and that's why I threw it out there for possibly increasing it to 50 miles an hour. It's starting at the mobile station. Once you come around the bend, you post it right there, 50, because at that point, it's pretty much straight. There's lots of vision, either roads entering, or, coming in up the side road and stuff like that. That's my own personal opinion. I don't know how the other commissioners feel about it, but I did send out that video to the commissioners just so they could see it for themselves. That is a tremendous problem. I don't know how you enforce it because these people are indiscriminate when they do. It could be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Somebody just needs to.
Right, there's outliers here and there that are
Yeah,
difficult to predict, no question. Under the way that the Chamberlain Highway is currently posted, the break for speed limit occurs in the area of Blue Ridge, right around Norton Lane, Blue Ridge. That's where the speed limit change occurs between 40 or 45 as you go northbound. I think becomes 40 then because you're entering more residential, a little less rural, so they reduce the speed 5 miles an hour there. But as you just said, and from my personal experience, which is in accordance with my training as well, posted speed limit, I want to call it irrelevant, but people will drive because we're human beings, and being what human beings are, we drive at a speed that we're comfortable at, regardless of what the posted speed limit is. So if 45 is the posted speed limit, so you said some people feel comfortable at 35, and what my training has taught me is that the traffic conflicts occur when people are all doing different things. You will get somebody that is steadfast. If the posted speed limit is 45, doggone it, that's what they're going to do, and they're not going to move from it. And then you get somebody else that, through word of mouth, oh, I heard cops don't pull people over until you're going 10 miles an hour over. So they're going to be comfortable at 55, and that's where they're going to stay. They're not going to go any faster. And then you get somebody else that feels like, well, I'm pretty comfortable at 60 miles an hour. I have no problem there. I'm negotiating everything. And then when those three things converge together, that's when traffic conflicts occur. So I think what the DOT tries to do is use the 85th percentile speed as a base, then take into consideration, of course, intersecting driveways and intersecting streets and sight lines, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not saying that your concerns don't have merit, but I think, in my opinion, what we would be kind of doing is conducting an experiment to see if it works, which would be contrary to what state engineers have said, if they, based upon all their schooling, which is certainly more than I
I've
have.
seen traffic studies, they're phenomenal. They really take into account a lot of variables. And I can understand how thorough they would be. So I was just throwing it out there because it's my own personal experience.
Right.
Yes, anybody else have any questions?
Thank you
Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
you very much.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to add an item to the agenda. I'd like to add an item to discuss potentially engaging an outside agency or investigator. And I would like to go into executive session to discuss that matter as well. And any action that we would take regarding that matter would be coming out of executive session. But obviously, first we need to make the motion to add that to the agenda.
Who would like to make the first motion?
I just made the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. So, Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss that agenda item, inviting myself, the chief, deputy chief, Lieutenant Martin, and that's it.
I'd like a second. All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Alex.
So, Mr. Chair, there's a motion on the table regarding the item added to the agenda regarding the appointment, potential appointment of a outside investigator. And we had executive session. With this point, my understanding is we're going to table the matter with the expectation we'll take it up at a special meeting that we believe will be scheduled Monday, maybe Tuesday. So I'd ask that somebody make a motion to table.
I'm gonna make a motion to table.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes. June, any questions?
I had a question under new business. When we discussed the Chamberlain Highway.
Mhm.
If I remember correctly, there was a motion on the floor that wasn't seconded. Does that need to be documented or did the minutes need to reflect such? Because as I read through, It-
But just failed.
It doesn't say that.
but it
No.
doesn't say that.
So no, what happened was someone made the motion, but nobody seconded.
Yeah,
So it just, the motion failed on that basis.
Yeah, so does that need to be
I think
documented
so.
as
I think
such?
so. I think so.
And I don't remember who made the motion, but I know that it wasn't seconded, so it did
Oh,
fail.
there's not even a record of it being motioned?
Correct.
Oh, no.
It's on page 2 under new business.
June 18th. So the July one?
June.
June.
Was it, we were gonna,
I made the motion. I remember that.
it was to engage, DOT. Was that what it was?
Yeah,
Dave,
to increase the speed limit to
Yeah.
50 miles an hour.
Mhm.
all right,
But
so,
apparently, our traffic officer did pursue looking into it for us.
Mhm.
Their audience of citizens.
Right, yeah.
Right? I made the motion.
I don't remember who made, I know,
Check the tape.
yeah, I don't remember who made the motion, but I know there was a motion that failed.
Any other corrections? Question?
Yeah, we were.
so I make the motion to approve the June minutes, subject to, a correction to note that, Commissioner Giannoni, made a motion to engage DOT about increasing the speed limit on Chamberlain Highway, and the motion failed for lack of a second.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
now we got a second. Yes.
Okay.
So then we
He's
got
taking
the-
Russian strong.
Yeah.
Our meeting in July was not a regular meeting, special, we basically replaced the regular meeting time slot. And I need, any corrections, objections, or any discussion.
I'll make a motion to accept the July 16th.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we move on to the chief, monthly report from the chief.
You wanna go to old business first?
Correspondence, do we have any correspondence?
I gave it out already.
Okay, do we have all business radio system?
Yeah, so, new radio system, we're on a new radio system, and we found that there's a problem that was not taken into account. And that was that the radios work great all over the state and all over the town, except in the building downstairs. Yeah, our radios, we can't hear them in the locker room or in our cell block areas at all, so, with, yeah, well, we're looking at what the fix is gonna be. Norcom's coming up with a price to do some kind of internal
Right.
repeater.
I mean, the
Yeah.
problem before was even though this building sucks for
The
transmissions,
antenna's right there.
any building like this, you're gonna have a tough time in.
Mhm.
The only reason we never had a problem before is the transmitter was right here.
Yeah.
So we kind of didn't take into account with the new system, the transmitter's not right here anymore. It doesn't transmit
It's
from this
wherever,
antenna. It's
yeah.
where the antennas are. and the radio system works great. The transmission is great. We had a little bit of a blip with the microphones we were using in dispatch. So we switched them out with non-noise canceling. Those work a lot better now. And I talked to Kevin Delaney. There is still money left that was borrowed for the project that would cover this. But so basically, we're trying to determine how we can provide coverage in the building at the lowest cost. So we're really concerned with, and this is something Rob Martin really has been heading up, but we're really concerned with the booking area and the Sally Port, where you have to have radio communication. So if something happens with a prisoner in there, you gotta call for help. You should be able to call for help there. Like our locker rooms,
There's a light that turns blue. if there's an
okay,
emergency, but
maybe
yeah.
we can do with putting a speaker in there
Right.
where they
yeah.
can hear,
You
just
mean like
hear
the
it or
sergeant's
something.
office?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're looking at options like that. They're gonna come up with a final cost. I mean, it could be anywhere from, well,
30 to-
it could be upwards of $50,000.
So be it.
There is money left in the project, that would cover it. Kevin said there's somewhere in the area of around 70,000 in that left. So it just kind of an unfortunate side effect that we
We did the test where we walked around and we tried everything, it just didn't work.
Well, we tested
we
every
did the whole
place,
town
The whole
outside.
town, all the places that weren't working, they're all working great. I mean, the radios are phenomenal.
Yeah.
But nobody
We
gave
didn't
the
think
thought
that
that they moved the transmitter to the other towers, Middletown, New Britain, and then that we wouldn't have that downstairs. I mean, we can hear it in the schools, but we can't hear it downstairs. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we,
All right.
Well, yes, McGee's a little sketchy.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, McGee, that back wall,
McGee's always
McGee's
been.
sketchy. High school's better than it was.
yeah.
The other radios didn't
It's
work.
It's an officer safety requirement. It's a non-negotiable for me, whatever it costs.
No.
Yeah, well, we're gonna need to see, like Drew just said, we're trying to get the money out of
Yeah.
whatever's left.
So we'll present you with the final number. What we wanted you to know, because it's got to go back to council again to
Yeah.
get that amount of money approved. So you might get some questions as to why that came up.
All right, so moving on to. K9 unit.
K9 unit addition. As you know, we have many people that donate for our K9 program, and there's a K9 class coming up in September with the state police. We named the officer Bennett will be our next officer to go to the K9 training, and they went last week with the state K9 trainers and looked at a dog, and they recommended one of the dogs with Officer Kriskowski, Officer Bennett. I forget the guy's name from the state. I think he's a sergeant from the K9.
Yeah, from the K9 unit.
Yeah,
One
and
of
they
the
went and
K9.
they checked this dog and they said he scores off the charts. He's super good and all. And so just we're planning on having Bennett in that class with this dog we're gonna get.
What kind of dog is it?
German
It's a
Shepherd.
shepherd. Both the
Control dog.
dog and the conversion of a cruiser to a K9 cruiser. We already have the money that was donated by private individuals in
Yeah.
town
Afford to do that.
to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
Well, we
K9
haven't-
It's
program
not, I would say the
Yeah.
K9 program is funded
by outside.
strictly on
sources, yeah.
donations, as is our.
We just
dive
got another
program.
$1,000 last week, or this week, being this.
Somebody just called me
Yeah.
to donate 1,000.
It's another 1,000.
for
We get
dog
money
food.
all the time for the dogs.
Older K9, how much service life is left?
I think we got,
He's 9.
So this would be
Um,
the third or the fourth?
this will be our third dog. Kasner's getting ready.
So, but it'll go back down to 2.
They'll go back down to 2, but she's already training another dog.
Yeah.
So
Tortolino? Sergeant Tortolino?
that sounds familiar. I think it might have been him. I knew it wasn't an Irish name. Yeah. So that, I just,
What would
the
be-
dog that they were looking at was, comes with a name already, and the name is Jax, Jax.
Could you explain, Chief, for the public that they understand the benefit to a third dog?
Oh, we use our dogs all the time. Our dogs get used for tracking mostly. We have a lot of people getting lost in the
Ragged Mountain.
parks and all up in, the Ragged Mountain and all. And besides the fact that our dogs are good at tracking, they're also great when it comes to community events. Our dogs are not aggressive dogs. We don't push the biting, we push the capability of people to come up and pet our dogs and interact with our dogs and community stuff. I mean, Penny is just crazy because.
They get
she's-
requested constantly.
Mhm.
Like,
Everybody who does something in
when,
town wants
when
a
any,
canine there.
anytime there's an issue, and we get calls for other agencies all the time for our dogs too, to assist other agencies. So it's very rare that we, don't have our dogs during the week, very active. My goal always was to have 3 dogs, 1 on each shift. Kaz is 9 years old.
So how long are the dogs usually in service? When would Casner's retirement date be?
Probably
approximately?
soon, like in 10. 10's a
So we
long
got
time
a year
for a
left.
police dog. Yeah. And
So-
I mean, he's in great shape
He's
and
a
all.
young 9.
Yeah, he is. He's
Yeah.
like a young 9, how people name that. He's like that too. He's very, very good.
So would we be looking at his retirement to bump up to a third?
I think it's a great
Well,
transition dog. It's
I
really-
can tell you that his handler wants to have another dog.
She's already working on training another one? Is that who? you
Well,
were
I'm not
referencing?
supposed to know that, but I do. I know she's got another dog in the works. But I,
Good.
Okay, so we'll be back up to 3 in no time then.
As long as you approve, we. approve.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think what's
Yeah.
gonna happen is she'll make, they'll be between the vets and her and the discussion about his retirement and then the replacement. Cause they're funded by our outside sources.
She actually gets all her food for free.
That's expensive.
She has a
Mhm.
company that has been donating her food for years.
Yeah,
So we pay for the other canine and then we pay for all the medical expenses.
so of course, the older dogs are, so at some point they gotta retire,
Yeah.
so.
All right, well, I appreciate that.
Hope we get invitations to his retirement party.
Oh, that'll be a big one because,
Mhm.
she's very popular.
Moving up to new business, any new business?
I didn't have any new business. Do we have, I don't think there was anything
I
that,
think we were gonna do that.
the traffic report would have gone in there, but yeah,
Do we want to talk about the position?
Oh. yeah, I'll talk, you know what, because we didn't have it done, but we've decided on a potential part-time RFOI person. We did interviews of 10 candidates. We had 61 applicants. It's not bad, $30 an hour.
Mhm.
Yeah,
With some benefits.
Absolutely.
Based on a
Sounds good.
lot, this guy.
Mhm.
We're getting killed, I know.
I know.
So,
we're gonna- it's like a pig.
We did interviews. We had some former officers, retired officers. And we have a woman that Drew talked to her today. She's gonna do she works for the state right now. She's gonna be retiring. She's in adult probation. She's pretty high up in there. She was looking to retire and she's a Berliner. So, and she knows the court system and she knows all the players. I mean, she comes with a really good skill set. And this is the first time we're doing something like this. And part of our interview process, we gave everybody the same 10 questions, for the 10 that we brought in that we liked off the resumes. And that was one of the key components, is being able to just jump right in, not have to go through. We'll send her some FOI training and stuff, but she's got some experience gathering that information for the state. She's worked in the court.
She's collecting
For a long time.
CJIS already.
Yeah, collect certified, she just trained. I mean, that's kind
Any
of a home run.
experience in redacting?
The technical end of it, no, but gathering stuff and going through what should be and what shouldn't be, she has through probation.
She's been dealing with juvenile issues for years.
Who is
So
that?
she knows,
Sensitive, yeah.
she knows the nuances of sensitive information and what can and can't be given out.
You
She hasn't
what
specifically
I'm
done
saying.
FOI, but she kind of has a lot of experience in that area.
Oh.
So I think it'll be a pretty quick transition.
She says she goes by 2 names.
She does. She has 2
Yeah,
names.
she has two
I
names.
do too.
Yeah,
So that's pretty certified person to do the job.
That's awesome.
yeah. Well, after our
Which is
interview,
fantastic.
after our interview, we said, it was myself, the deputy chief, and Mike Jobs, and we said, we don't want her to be bored,
She won't.
because she's a
She's
hustler, so.
Very type A.
Yeah, very
So you
tight.
don't wanna
We feel like this.
She
Yeah,
wanted
but
to do a lot.
You have other duties that's
She
required.
would-
Oh,
she
we got a
would-
bunch
We have a
of
lot
other
of,
stuff too.
we have a lot
Yeah.
of other stuff, and she already has experience doing fingerprints and all that stuff.
Yeah,
She could do.
she's like, oh, I can
non-criminal.
take the paperwork to
She's
court
done
and all. That's what we
warrants.
said.
She's done all that.
She's a bit of a.
She's phenomenal.
She's the one,
Yeah, well, she
she's
could
the
do
one that
that
puts
too.
all the cases together for
Yeah.
the warrant sweeps.
Yep.
From probation.
Yeah, she said she wanted to, because she was retiring from the state, but she has to wait till the 1st of the month. That's that retirement rule. And she doesn't think she'd make the retirement for September. We only talked to her, we gotta
September
do a
1st.
background still.
Mhm.
So, we're looking for October 1st, but she said she'd be willing to come and start doing stuff around her current schedule. She wanted to finish up her projects, and one of the projects was putting the packets together for the next sweep, so.
Less sworn doing admin work is
Hmm.
more opportunity for.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, put people on the road,
Yeah.
so.
And she's
Yeah.
gonna be a hustler, so good, that's great.
She's
Good.
definitely a hustler.
She is,
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
She'll be busy.
Right, that's it for new business then? All right,
Well, that
we'll
makes me
move on to
happy.
The chief's monthly report. Anything you'd like to make comment on, chief?
Can I take
Um,
a idea?
let's see.
That's good.
Oh, we didn't have a meeting in July. They did really well. So, Cadet Police Academy, the cadets did, they all came back, a bunch of awards. We lost several of our top cadets last
Mhm.
week to colleges, going away to school. It was a sad day, but it's our first wave. So we've been doing this 3 years. So, now the officers working with them, I had a laugh because Thursday night they had a cake for 3 of the girls. One of the girls is already in Norwich.
Yep.
Because she had to go to basic training, so she literally left the academy before graduation and went to Norwich, and she's writing letters to us already, and so she didn't get the send off the other ones got, but they'll all be back. I told them they can't just go away. They're good role models.
Mhm.
And this past week, we did the Youth Citizens Academy.
How
which
was
is the
that
first time we
received?
ever did that. And we had 20 seats, we had 19 filled every day. Ages 11 to 14, so some of those older kids, four of them are filling out applications to come into the cadet program. And then, even some of the 11-year-olds wanted to come to the cadet program, but they can't because they're too young. But it
What's the
was
starting age, maybe?
13. I think it might be a 13-year-old that said they wanted to start coming too. But the program itself ran really well. We used the community center. It was, well, we had 4 dogs one day, so that was a big hit with the kids. And then, really, it's more about the officers getting on the level with the young people and making contact with them.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good questions. I ended up, I knew I was gonna do one class on investigation, like a little brief thing about what investigations entail and all, and then one of the instructors got tied up in the case, so he couldn't do his class. The last one I did, emergency preparedness, which was good because now parents are calling me saying, why is my kid telling me I have to have a plan? Like, if something happens and my kid gets off the bus, and
You always have to have a plan.
a lot of the parents, like, you gave them these blank family plans and stuff to
Mhm.
fill out, which I got from
Good.
Demus, stuff like that. So I think it was good. And then they definitely paid attention if they're going home and talking to their parents about, hey, what happens if I get home from school? And there's a crisis and nobody's here, where do I go? Who do I go see? So that was part of it. They went out to Sage Park on the last day. They did a pizza party. I wasn't there for the last day, so they did a pizza party and all for them. And they're all talking about, are you gonna do this again next year? So that's good. The amazing thing is, they're already talking about next year for the cadet, or for the kids, not cadet program, kid program. But we posted for our Citizens Police Academy and we did not get one applicant. So we let it go, not one.
Yeah, we were surprised.
Yeah, we had to cancel it. We're
They
gonna wait
posted
and
it
see it maybe in like
numerous
fall,
times.
if we could do something during, it's hard around the holidays, but maybe January or something
Yeah.
like that when things slow down.
Which
It's hard for people.
I
Like,
think that's what it was. I
Yeah.
think it was summer, people still, their kids weren't back to school yet, and they're like, I think that was kind
And
of.
another
Too much
thing I
of a
think was
transition
that,
time right
they
now.
didn't want to make the commitment for all the weeks either. That was part of it. Cause I had people all year sending me emails, hey, when are you having a good Citizens Police Academy? So we contacted them like, the timing, it's not good, so. But I was surprised. Usually that fills right up, so.
I gotta say, I actually did it back when I first started being a commissioner. It's very important.
I remember you did.
Yeah.
It really is.
And the officers like it too. Everybody likes doing it, so I was kind of surprised that we didn't get a thing on that.
January, when people are stuck indoors, might be a good time. 'Cause then
Yeah,
get them
but
out.
then we want to get them outside too on some stuff, so that you
Yeah,
gotta
that
do
work
it
as
by the
well.
weather. Officer Musanti and Kennedy were involved in the Berlin Community Overdose Education and Narcan training event that they had at the library, which Carrie. What's Carrie's last name? The library director,
Mhm.
she's really a sweetheart. She contacted me, said the officers did a phenomenal job. And they want to do another one. And that was with social services and the Central Connecticut Health District. And it was kind of the first time we've done this, but it's going to be a model for other agencies in the Central Connecticut Health District. So we were the first guinea pigs and it was very successful. Let's see what else. Well, if you've been seeing our press releases, we've been very busy. You'll see that in some of these other reports.
Sergeant Booth's,
Yeah, that's right. I want to talk about this. The last page, I attached a letter I got from Sergeant Gould about our 9mm and optic transition. And what I want to draw your attention to is these numbers from the range.
No brainer.
It was phenomenal. And I've had a couple other chiefs and other agencies who are on the fence about doing optics, waiting to see what we were doing and saying, how'd that work out? So I actually took this letter and sent it to them. And then I went and talked to a couple of people who were kind of naysayers and they're like, wait a minute, you had no big issues. I said, no, our usual hard shooters, everybody qualified. It was great. So,
Still have iron sights on it?
yeah, you can still do
Yeah.
that.
You
Just
had
in
to
case of
do
a
practicing
backup?
with that too.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
shut the-
because, you know, you
shut
put
the dot
tape
off.
over it so you can't use your dot and all that.
Yeah.
You don't have dots on your guns, do you?
Not yet.
And it's not
Tell
what,
the commission you should get
it's
it.
not what most
Tag
people
team
think
has it.
of a dot.
Yeah,
You know,
No.
most people think it projects
yeah,
the
they
dot.
think you're looking for a laser.
It's not, the
that at
dot
all.
shows up in the sight,
Yeah.
you know, like the rifles. It's.
But we did some things like we've turned the weapon sideways and used the rail if your sight is disabled or something. You know, things that is not real normal, but it's becoming the norm.
is that part of these scores?
Oh, yeah.
Of course,
Oh, yeah.
So they actually didn't just have it, they actually looked down the sight.
Oh, yeah. We did night shooting with them without it. I mean, it was a good 2.5-day program.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact that 28% of the department shot a perfect score, I think is pushing.
Well, we
Like,
did
Yeah.
beyond.
some friction for transferring over. Oh, but this was a decision well made.
Yeah, and we're reducing our costs.
Big time.
Because the guys used their uniform and clothing allowance to get the site, so it didn't really come, it's budgeted money anyways, they get it in their thing. And the cost of the 9mm versus the 45 for 2 years, that pays off the difference.
Mhm.
So that was very, very good. And our, only one person, I think, right? Only one person didn't get a site. One person didn't do the optics. Everybody else got optics. So, and our new hires are all gonna have it too, so they start from it.
Is that it for the monthly report? Anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the
Thank you, Chief.
Patrol Operations Division, Lieutenant Martin, and you're sitting here, would you like to comment on the report?
Most of the stuff that I highlighted in my report is stuff that you guys already know about, with the press releases, notifications from the month, the cruisers being ran.
Hmm.
July 26, 27, little mini crime spree by Don Alligator where he got into a domestic and got into a crash.
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
As far as these cruisers being intentionally hit, it appears, are we able to get them sufficiently repaired so we can use them quick enough? Or is there a problem?
So far, we've been able to get them, all the ones that were struck by suspects are being put back in service. We had to do some repairs to them, including the one that was struck a couple nights ago. That had some rear end damage. So we had one vehicle that's essentially totaled in a crash that we had. But as far as suspect striking cars, we had 4. Those are all put back in service.
I'm sorry, which car was wrecked?
14.
Car 14.
Yeah.
What was the incident that wrecked it?
It was an intersection crash.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
the Worthington Ridge.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I did talk to Simons last week at the gas pump and he was telling me that, he's a superstitious guy. And he said, if a car's involved in a couple incidents, we gotta get rid of it. So,
That car 14.
yeah, he said that the car was cursed, but,
I think 14 was the first one that was rammed.
Yeah.
We were trying to pick up that woman on the warrant. That was the
yeah,
first
so,
one that was
but
hit.
Drew did do a press release this morning on Fox 61. They were here.
Yeah, I did an interview
And
for
we're
them.
talking about how it's getting, we're seeing it elsewhere too. When I was at Midstate last Wednesday, the other departments, Newington, Rocky Hill, they're all having the same issues. These people are just gonna get away. They're gonna crash into your car and drive away. And so, we talked this morning about maybe we gotta review, well, we're getting a new car set up. We're gonna put another brush guard on the car, which we got away from. You guys had them before, but you've gotten away from them. Because, you know, Simon's thought that, hey, if a car's gonna back into you to get away, at least we got some protection in the front still. Also, you know, we wanna see exactly what tactics, maybe if there's something we should change in our tactics or what they're being taught in the academy as far as these tactics. The big thing is I think that, people just don't feel that there's consequences. That's it. You know, it would be nice, like the court just did a thing, or the legislature did a thing with our canines. If you kill a canine and you get convicted of killing a police dog, you gotta pay for the dog. It would be nice if we could get the legislature to say, you wreck a car, you gotta pay for the car. What happens is they'll be at fault but they usually don't have insurance.
Mhm.
Half the time they're in stolen cars and we're holding it.
You're attaching the liability directly to the per person.
That's
Yeah,
what
I mean,
think
if
we
there's
should
a
try and do.
diversionary
Nice.
program ordered, I mean, they could be ordered to be restitution, but your
Yeah.
point, chief, is they don't have the money. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we've
Even
been
if you put
sending,
cash,
we've been
whatever.
sending that to the court,
And
but
it doesn't matter.
We're not gonna
I-
result coming
yeah,
out of it.
Yeah, they're ramming vehicles. It's because
Yeah.
they're committing crimes and they don't have any
They wanna
money.
get away.
That's right.
You think
This guy that drove off with the canine in his car had
Oh.
30 arrests in 4 states. And how is he?
right, and he was the one that hit two of our cars to get away,
It is.
Yeah,
and then went into
Overdose.
Britain and did that.
Yeah.
well, he hit two of our cars, but then he wrecked in New Britain.
Then he went into Britain, no.
Injured two
like
officers. Or no, didn't
Injured two
They-
officers.
They were
there.
injured?
Yeah,
Is it possible that because of sanctuary policies, that somebody like this can have a rap that deep, that they used to do this kind of stuff?
No, I think we're seeing
It's
that.
not sanctuary.
I don't
Oh, it's
think
not
that,
sanctuary.
yeah, I don't think
That's
that
like
has anything.
immigration. It's the fact that, that courts aren't, locking people up,
Mhm.
repeat offenders, and
insane.
taking the criminals off the street.
All these people have multiple arrests in multiple states.
Yeah,
And that's the guidance they're getting from.
the guy we had this weekend, he was in our cell block, he tampered with the cell, flooded out the cell.
Did he actually
I
do
mean,
it?
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. And you know, that case is still under investigation because people fled and we're gonna we're getting information, the DB's working it and you know, and when you get the Solex report, I think it's, and the investigative report about the Peterbilt truck thing, that was a good case too. A really good
Well, I
case.
saw the press release.
He pumps the releases out.
A lot, well, you know, we put a lot of good stuff, building babies and all, but we're also putting out stuff about what's happening too, so the community knows that it's not
They
just,
respond well too on Facebook.
Yeah, we don't put all our arrests, but
No,
some that
some
are
that stick out.
significant.
Yeah, no, that's.
Is it, just getting back to the car, the cruiser's getting hit, is it appropriate for us to bring this to the attention of town council, not that they don't already know? So maybe we get a couple extra cruisers if this is gonna be.
well, Jim Simons has been all over them
as-
on it.
Well, I mean, we have a $2,000 deductible per car. So first of all, it costs us a fair amount of money. The other thing that just recently happened is we have a brand new car that we just bought as a part of the last batch of money that we got, and that car is at the garage. We were just about to swap out an older car, but now we're gonna have to keep the older car and use this for the crash car. We're gonna take the stuff out of the crash car, put it in this car. So we'll have to wait until there's some insurance resolution and get money for a car. So, well, I will tell you this, we are falling behind on replacing our cars.
I would think so.
Because the cars cost a lot more money than they used to, and we were really only getting the same amount of money. And last year, I thought the pickup truck we put in for was going to come out of that capital, but it didn't. They actually took the pickup truck, and we got a great deal on the pickup, and we needed the pickup,
Yeah.
you know? It replaced our older one, a pickup truck that we got.
But that was presented to us as it was coming out of capital, it wouldn't affect us getting
Yeah,
two
It
new
was,
cars.
it was changed
Changed.
after. So what they did was they gave us a certain amount of money for cars, but then they deducted what it cost for the pickup truck. So then we were left with really, we could only replace 2 cars. And we could only get 1 patrol car out of that. So that's the only car we got this year. By my estimates, we really need more like 3 cars a year for patrol. And occasionally a command staff car has to be replaced. Because that's the only way we can put a car in the bureau.
So like, I didn't give up my car when I should have in the rotation, because I thought it was kind of crazy to give up a car when we needed another patrol car. But when Jim Simons talked to me last week, he goes, oh, your miles are getting too high, and that car has to get slated to the next level. So it's not even about, I thought I was doing the right thing, but I'm actually screwing up his system because doing the right thing screws him up for replacement. But the town manager and I met a couple weeks back, and he said that he's got to go for capital budget and tell them they got to get cars. They need cars too. They're waiting for our
The town is
cars.
waiting for
But
ours.
we
We're
can't
not
give
giving
our
them
cars
back.
up, and yeah, we're not giving them up. So it's an issue they're going to have to address. I'm sure the town council's aware it's coming.
But
we
next
have-
year, we gotta really look at the money we're getting for cars next year. That's something.
Yeah,
And
We
the
have
last but not
4
least,
cars over 100,000 miles
Yeah.
that we're working with.
yeah.
the last page is the budget here and I realize it was a transitional thing between June and July. Phosphorus total was 60,000. How do we make out budget like?
Yeah, I didn't see the.
They don't do the budget be actual this early
Yeah,
in
it's
the
in on the
season.
agenda. I wrote the reason why you're not seeing it.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be next month, but
Oh.
he didn't do it for this month either. So I think it's just because it's so early in the season, some of the transfers that need to take place from last year's budget to this budget haven't taken place yet.
You're still getting
And so
last
they're,
year's invoices
Yeah.
versus, yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
So-
Typically, the numbers I give you are a little overstated, because they include things that finance may not actually include in the PD budget if it's stuff that they have other budget line items.
From the overtime perspective, were we under, over, par? From the overtime, were we over?
I think when we met in June, we were supposed to be right on target.
Yeah, we
to
No,
finish.
we were right on target for overtime. I think we came in a little less on overtime, so we were close.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We were right there. He had transferred money over anyways, but I don't think we even.
I mean, give or
got to
take,
that.
it is.
Yeah, we were right there.
Have we given any more thought, and I know I think it's in one of the other reports about the waived fees and going to town council and kind of asking them to cap the fees they waive for,
Give us money for it.
or give us, or take it out another line item. Yeah, I know we've talked about it at a couple meetings.
Several times.
Are
Actually,
we-
technically, and originally I thought that the money that they take for waived fees comes out of our overtime account. It
Yeah.
actually doesn't, comes out of the private duty account. But what happens at the end of the year with the private duty account is whatever money that we get for a surcharge for cars gets put into a side account, and then we get that back for cars. The only problem with that is they take the amount of money that we need for cars every year and they deduct that amount.
From the
So
surcharge.
let's say we get $50,000 for surcharges from PJs that they put in a separate account. And they were gonna give us $75,000 for cars. Well, now they only give us 50,000. So.
Yeah.
So it really hasn't benefited us
No,
at all, to be
not at all.
honest, but the money that comes out doesn't come out of our overtime account. It actually comes out of private duty account.
Okay,
So it doesn't show up.
But it sounds like it's still, I mean, the waived fees still impact.
It's still coming out of
still
our
coming out of
budget.
the budget,
Yes.
Yeah.
And so again, if we.
So I guess no matter how you look at it, it's coming out of the PD budget.
Right.
Yeah.
And capping, like, going back to town council and us and the cap the waived fees. And, as somebody who does a lot, volunteer in a lot of groups in town, I understand the importance of, as a nonprofit, of having the waived fees, but
Right.
if it's negatively impacting our budget as a commission, I think we need to.
Very good.
They've had some discussions and there's
Nothing's
nothing
come out of
really,
it though, yeah.
so I don't know.
I don't think anybody wants to pull the trigger.
All right.
Can we
let's,
schedule going to a town
real quick,
council meeting?
Well set.
Real quick, yeah, just a couple things. So, LT, Deputy Chief and Chief, I just want to point out the activities, very high, and a couple officers that I keep seeing at the top, just always out there working, or repeatedly, their names are here: Mangelli, LaJoy, Linda Hawk Bennett, Yang, Johnson, Pena.
Pena.
Pena, newer guy.
Just crushing it.
Great job.
And, 3 DUIs this month, if I remember correctly. And then, on a personal note, stopping at a chaotic scene on the Chamberlain Highway, that I was involved in as well. Just want to give a major thank you to, I think it was Patterson was first on scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank God for him, because, I'm by myself in a suit and tie and dress shoes, and the guy decided to be high on, heroin or whatever, and
He was actually off duty headed home.
Yeah.
yeah, and he rolls up and he's like, he looks at me and I'm like, oh, thank God he got called and he's here to help. And he's like, what do we got? And I go, oh my God, he just happened to roll up at the right time.
Yeah, he was head home.
I didn't even have a chance to call it in. And just so you guys know, this guy was like swerving. I went to go pull him over, but before I pulled him over, he like stopped. So then I hit the lights and he turned around. Now we're facing each other in the wrong way. And he ran because he ran over a mailbox, crossed the
Mhm.
Chamberlain Highway, went up an embankment, hit a telephone pole, and you just hear his foot pressing on the gas and just the tire spinning, smoke coming out. And it was Patterson who showed up and he's like, what do we got? And I'm like, mess. So thank God he showed up, because, he Narcaned him as he was being Narcaned, you know, I'm like, let's pull him out of the car. We pull him out of the car. And of course, once he starts
Start
being
swinging.
revived, now he wants to fight. And, it was a mess. So thank you to Patterson, Kennedy, Clark, Lawler, and Sergeant Flynn for, the major assistance, because that could have been very.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would have
I
been
said
very-
that night.
that would have been very, very ugly for me. So, they did a great job.
And a shout out to Pena, who's helping with, like,
He's crushing.
with not only what he's doing on duty, but taking his time off, that language barrier, to address the language barrier shouldn't fall on him, but thank God he's willing, we have him and he's willing to
Yeah.
step up.
He's a very low
So-
key guy too.
Very.
Huge,
Very respectful, very low key.
I see him stopping cars everywhere.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He
Yeah,
does
no,
his job very
yeah.
quietly, doesn't say anything.
Kudos. Very good. Okay, we're gonna move on to the investigative division. So I see that both there's press releases for two big cases that we had. One being that tractor trailer truck that was stolen from Peterbilt. It's hard to believe that a mechanic from a body shop took it. So I used the parts. Wonderful. And then you had the lady that was had her pocketbook taken in CVS pharmacy, and apparently we've done some extensive work on figuring out who it is. And here we are. Any comments on that or anything else in that report from the commission?
No, I just would like to say that the Bureau's doing phenomenal work. And there's one case that's listed there with Griffith with the $100,000 in cryptocurrency.
Mhm.
He, you know, for a municipal police officer, these cases get really complicated. And he did a phenomenal job. And the only thing that stopped him was the jurisdiction.
Right.
You know, and that's a lot of work. You got to be fastidious when you're doing those electronic crypto cases and all. That's not something that we see too often at agencies our size. You see that in the bigger agencies where they have a dedicated detective or whatever does that kind of work. You know, so they're doing really good work. They've been busy. They've been busy.
I have suggestions. While I'm poking around on Facebook, I see complaint, well, people don't know what these flop things are and they're complaining that we're going after
Mhm.
residents.
Right.
Yeah.
Put out a press release explaining what they are.
We could do that again.
Yeah, we could do something like that. There's a lot of misconceptions with those.
That's the problem.
People think
Yeah.
it's gathering their information and it's not. It actually doesn't run anything.
No,
And anything that is gathered is deleted after 1 week or 1 month.
I think it's
30
2
days.
weeks. Is it
30 days.
I think we had talked at the last meeting about, kind of getting a policy,
We do have a
we have
policy.
policy.
well, bringing it to the meeting so that we could
Sure.
review and support. So can we have that? Even if you want to drop it in an email to us?
The only thing I like about, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've been following it, is that people, they think it's a,
Speed
speed
camera.
cameras, so
Yeah.
they're slowing down.
Yeah.
Right.
Middletown has them every.
Well, Costa's been on the news all week. He's been on every New York State, or Connecticut station, him and Bernagger, the chief, talking about how these things are phenomenal and they're making all this money on it. But in Washington, they put one in and they made $344,000 in fines in like a 6-month period. And what do you got, a resident trooper and a couple constables in Washington, you know, but the whole thing is you got to get past the state when it comes to placing those things too. They can't affect certain types of
There's a lot of,
people.
there's a lot of
things. We
restrictions.
looked into it. And what I wish they would do is report where the money is that they collect, because well, most of that money does not go back to the community.
But we never got the
It's
ball rolling
ordinances.
on that, because I know I think we looked into it a few years ago, but we never, town council never took it up. We never engaged the state on it or anything.
Mhm.
No,
It's just, I mean,
we were waiting to
It's
see
all
what was gonna
ordinances,
happen.
too.
It was just
Yeah.
too
They don't have
early.
to pay it.
really get.
And
too
we'll see
much
what
into it.
Middletown.
No,
is.
Everybody was
That's
waiting
civil
for
fine.
Middletown.
Yeah, send the collection.
Yeah.
When we had done some research on it and it was, you weren't getting any bang for the buck when you, if. Yeah, maybe it'll slow people down, but I don't think it's
I don't
working
know.
that way at all.
A lot of the money you
You have
get
to
goes to
create
the
a
company to do all the work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
You have to create a panel to appeal, the review. the
Yes.
appeal.
Who's gonna review
If you
everything?
don't pay them, you don't just do anything other than send them collections and then a
Right.
percentage of that gets taken off the top.
It's a lot more involved than you think.
Then, but they're not telling you that in the
They're
media.
not telling you that.
Aren't they supposed to get like an email or something which actually shows some video that caught them?
You get a still picture.
You get a still picture, but also I think a sworn officer has to approve it first.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
depending on
state
how,
law.
it depends on
The
how you
state
set it
police
up.
has it.
Yeah,
So
Or
it's
there's
not like it's
maybe like
automatic. It's
Normally you have an
sites all over
officer-
Ohio,
review each one.
But you're gonna have an officer doing that all day.
all day.
Yeah, that's a full-time job. That's a
There's like a
full-time job.
1,000
or maybe not
at
just
least
sworn
per
officer,
hour.
maybe an
Yeah.
employee, at least, maybe even,
No, I think
Wow.
it's gotta be sworn.
You gotta have
That's another reason not to do it.
because
Just don't
you're
have-
issuing
We don't have
citations
manpower.
from that, so you have to be sworn to be able to go through and.
Yeah,
evaluate
you're right,
those.
you're right.
You can do it both ways, where you have an officer review it, or you can do it where it's just automatic.
You can have the company do it automatically too, but
They
Then
make
you're
all
paying.
the money.
Then it's not an infraction, it's just a civil
yeah,
penalty.
right.
Yeah, it's.
I have a little bit of experience.
Well, just for what it's.
Oh, it's not even a ticket, it's just, you know.
It's an ordinance, town ordinance.
Washington DC.
Oh.
I can tell you that.
Every time I look at that darn thing, I get dinged.
Might have cost them a few dollars.
So like, as
I
an
didn't live
example,
in Washington.
Welcome to Berlin.
as an example, in the
Feel
report
the
by
fine.
Lieutenant Jobs, all these fees that are town ordinance tickets
Yes.
that we haven't collected since 2020, that's exactly what we'll be doing, except
Yeah.
this page will probably be 300 pages.
Yeah,
Thicker than the entire.
right,
That's.
no doubt.
And we'd have people praying.
Just for what it's worth, I'll throw this out there. It's under old business for the June minutes. It was about
Ridiculous.
It was about the flock cameras and the questions that were asked, and just go forward. Lieutenant Solik had updated the commission regarding the status of flock safety cameras. Department man examines the different town policy regarding cameras that is adapting various elements using this as the base template for Berlin. There are safeguards built in specifically when assigning users. Once online, commission will receive monthly reports. Chairman Rogan noted that there's a rising concern by the public regarding checks and balances of the system, which is what Commissioner Zeller just said he noticed on Facebook. And then it says Commissioner Giannone inquired how long the data would be stored. We believe it's for a month. Commissioner Granata as the process will be reviewed and discussed in the next meeting. So here we are, and that's exactly what we're doing. So just so the public knows, we are being very careful. So, okay, is there anything else on the investigation division questions? Any comments on it? Are we good? Good. All right, let's move on to the youth officer report. Any questions there?
I have a question about the first one.
Sure.
The first case
Sure.
was a report made to the Department of Children and Families for the, I mean, I don't know the specifics, but any trafficking concerns identified with that kiddo. The kid that flew to Detroit?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
16.
They
How about the
They can-
airline? Let 'em on.
They're 16. 16 is allowable.
Check
Yeah.
the airline.
Mhm.
At 16, you can get on a plane.
Mhm. Cause you have ID?
Have an ID, get enough money to buy the ticket, get on a plane.
Okay, we also have a youth officer report.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on. Support Services Division, Ghost and questions. You have, at the back of you have officer time report, monthly reports and. What she's doing is a third job here.
Mhm.
When it comes to. You have all the training in July. How's that going?
We have started a new system where we have purchased from a company to do supervisor training every month.
Oh, they're gonna be doing.
Online
We're
supervisor.
all doing it.
That was a
Yeah,
great
it's
idea.
through Daigle.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I understand they're superb agents.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
To
good
help
stuff.
with a lot of issues. Okay, so that takes care of that. Permits. CAP/SRO and concerns there. That, and move on. Operations report, Drew Gallup, seeing as you're here, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, I don't think so.
No, good.
I'm sorry, you said, oh, let's say SRO. Any thought about putting SRO back in the case?
Yeah, the school wants one. I said, why don't they help pay for it? So we can get another officer.
Yeah.
You know, that's what other communities do. Sometimes they split the costs with the Board of Ed and all. So,
Was Brian open to that discussion? I mean,
he was, but he'd have to go to his board and I
Yeah.
don't know what he did. I haven't talked to him over the summer, so we were talking about it right when school was coming to an end. You know, because of the problem where Lentini had that kid assault him over there at McGee and all. So,
I mean, middle schoolers can be impulsive sometimes.
yeah. It's not like we
Prefrontal
wouldn't want to
cortex.
put somebody there. We just need another person.
No, I know, I
Right.
know we put them up,
Yeah.
short staff.
And DePinto does support McGee.
Yeah, he
when-
goes there.
Yes.
He'll go and support when
If
needed.
there's a
correct?
case, they'll go over.
Yeah, but he's housed at the high school.
Yes.
Yeah. He also goes over to St.
Willard.
Paul's, Willard. He goes all over.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's mostly at the high school.
I think you guys do an excellent job of having people there at critical times, just for police presence. I do see them there all the time, so.
Yeah, or, we're always redoing our active shooter training in the summer or something along those lines. And we have our officers going to the schools as much as possible just to do walkthroughs.
Yeah.
So they get visibility.
In the school, when the officers are present, they do a very good job of engaging with the students, so it's not. Like,
Yeah, you
creating
know,
a
it kind of
comfortable
hurt us
environment.
when they went to the Read Across America Week and they stopped doing it in person. They want us to do videos and send the videos.
God.
The officers,
No.
that
No.
didn't fly. They like going there and talking.
Absolutely.
Yes, face to face matters.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have kids.
No, I know, and I like going there too.
Mm-hmm.
It's nobody's doing it for video.
So we're gonna move on to, basically the freedom of information.
Yeah, the log's pretty big this month.
All right. Okay, and now we,
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Right.
and I noticed that we have a letter of thanks. It's, it's from the Commonwealth Police Department, the Dear Chief County. I'd like to take this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to you and the department for the assistance that was provided to the Cromwell Police Department throughout the week of 2025 Travelers Championship, June 16, 2025 to June 22nd, 2025. This assistance was again instrumental in the Cromwell Police Department's ability to meet the ever-increasing responsibilities of the management police services at the tournament. From a public safety standpoint, I cannot stress enough that much of the success of this tournament is a credit to all officers who assisted in the professionalism and the outstanding performance put forth by these officers. It's something that they should be extremely proud of. The actions of these officers reflected favorably upon both you and the Berlin Police Department. On behalf of the town of Cromwell and my department, please pass along to your officer my sincerest appreciation for a job well done. Sincerely, Fred, the chief of, I could not. pronounce it.
Sifadakalakis. Nobody pronounces it. Yeah, this is, I put that in there. We had no problems there this year. No protests, if you recall last year. We were on the news because of the protesters on the 18th hole. And,
We had a lot of cops surrounding that 18th hole this year, including myself.
yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case, so.
Most of the people surrounding the 18th were Berlin cops. We're the biggest group of officers other than Cromwell. Because they go to us
I see your guys
first.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of officers.
We have a really tight relationship with Cromwell. Chief Sifadakalakis is gonna be gone next year before the next TPC. So hopefully it stays the way it is.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a house down in Florida.
He built the house.
Yeah. He's been saying for a year now he's leaving, so. Yeah, he's a good guy though.
Wonderful. Okay, we're, it's really great to hear what you're such, we've been growing fair, I assume that's.
Yeah, the fair looks like it's gonna be a good weekend. I mean, we have everything lined up. So we're just gonna be short a couple officers because, two on maternity, one will have her child before then, and, that's two people less for some of those shifts, but we've talked to our surrounding towns. They sent letters out just in case we need help. So that's all been taken care of. I don't anticipate any problems. First, the Berlin Fair is the first weekend of the Big E too.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's gonna affect the numbers of attendance. But I just saw that yesterday, that the Big E starts the same weekend.
And we're more fully staffed than in years for that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right, do we
we need an executive session.
We need to re-enter.
I move we re-enter executive session.
For the purpose of discussing employment performance evaluation or for security personnel devices affecting which one?
Employment.
So for the-
Okay, I move to
employment
enter
performance
executive,
evaluation, yeah.
I move to enter executive session regarding employment performance evaluation, health or dismissal of an officer.
Second,
Second, and then the condition we're inviting in the commission, Chief McNally, Deputy Chief Gallup, and Lieutenant Martin.
that's correct. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Healy, you can go home.
Yeah.
And we'll be adjourning out of executive, when we come out of executive session.
I'd like to
Yes.
move,
1 second.
Okay, so we need, coming out of, executive.
Hold on,
session.
Dave, we got. There we go.
There we go. We're good.
I'd like to move to exit executive session.
Second. Ryan? Okay, adjournment, first and second. First. Okay. Second,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Time is 9:29.
Well, it wasn't 9:50 at the last.